Alrighty, hello. I am back again. I wonder if I'm going to say that every time. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. So, just like the last video, I forgot to record this because when I start editing and whatever, I get kind of caught up in just focusing on that and not thinking about anything else. But that's just how it goes sometimes, As long as I'm still doing it, then that's good enough. Ideally, I would be doing something, some kind of event or out and about, So it's potentially a little more interesting than just me talking directly to the camera downstairs after editing. I edit down here sometimes, and sometimes I edit upstairs. There's two places generally that I'll edit upstairs, which is, I call it the fireplace room. I don't know what it's actually called. Maybe it's called the great room. It has high ceilings and there's a fireplace in there. Sitting room. What's a den? I don't even know what a den is. What's a den? Maybe somebody can tell me. Google could tell me pretty easily. I'll find out later. It's all right. So the fireplace room, as I call it, it kind of just depends on where the most sunlight is. And so depending on the time of day, like early down here is actually nice because it has all these little tiny windows, like I pointed out. Right there, little tiny windows. There's 4 of them in here. And so it does let in a decent amount of light, and it's directly in the windows in the morning. Unfortunately, I don't come down here in the morning generally. So sometimes during the day, the fireplace room has the most light. And sometimes it's in the living room, dining room area. And I have like a little portable 15-inch monitor that is powered by USB-C. So I can have that plugged in directly to my MacBook. So that extends out, I guess, to a second monitor. So I have my MacBook monitor and I have the second monitor. It's extremely portable. It's cheap. It's on Amazon. If anybody wants to know what it is, then I'll tell you. I don't have any links or anything, affiliate things. Not that that would pay me any money because there's not very many people watching these right now. But maybe it's because I just sit and talk to the camera like this. I've seen YouTubers that do that and they are wildly popular and successful. So I guess that's not a terrible thing, as long as I have something valuable to talk about. Right now it's not valuable. All I'm talking about is my damn computer and monitor and where I edit. But anyway, today I have been editing pretty much all day. Mike and I now have 2 published episodes, and we're posting another one in 2 days, which is Friday. Today is Wednesday, and that's exciting. Everything is working the way it's supposed to work. I use Libsyn to post everything for us, I guess. I don't know if anybody that may potentially watch this has used that or knows of one that's better. If you do, then let me know, because I want this workflow to be as quick and easy and simple as possible, so I can be efficient and get things posted. But I've been editing all day. I'm kind of enjoying it. It almost feels like I'm putting a puzzle together. Like I have a checklist of things that have to be done. I am not completely done with the little, vertical 9x16 reels. I have half of them done. They would be done sooner, but Mike saw a style of someone else's reel and he was like, "Hey Drew, I like this. Can we do this?" And I'm like, "Well, not in Riverside." Riverside is amazing. Like, it cuts everything out for you. So that saves me a ton of time. Just the fact that it does that for you automatically. And then you can go in and tweak it. And it even has the full transcript. So you can like go through and read, either above or below where it actually cut out. And so you can kind of tweak it that way. Riverside is really cool. If you are recording in Riverside, it's really cool. Otherwise, you can't make use of any of those tools. There's another one called Opus Clip that is an AI. I didn't even mention. Riverside will cut them out for you with AI. Another one is called Opus Clip, and that one is after the fact. No matter where you recorded, whether it was in person or in Riverside or whatever, after you post that video to YouTube, you can just throw the link in there and it will do the same thing with AI. It'll cut out all your little, social vertical videos, little highlights that you can post on Instagram or TikTok or whatever. Very helpful, very useful. I actually like Riverside better than Opus. Opus Clip is really cool, but it's a little glitchy right now. I'm sure it's going to get much better. I mean, AI, I'd never used any of it until like a month or two ago, probably 2 months ago. And it was maybe 3 months ago. But when I first started using it for that purpose of cutting out social clips, it was not very good. And it was very glitchy, and it would cut words out in the middle of sentences that needed to be there, or cut stuff at the beginning of a sentence so you had no context. But it's already miles better than what it was just a few months ago. So I am really grateful for that AI assist there, Which the cool thing about that too is that makes things more accessible for anyone. All you have to do is it's a very short learning curve, learning those AI programs, to cut things out for you. So yeah, podcast production. I'm not trying to work myself out of a job or anything, because I'm sure that there's many of you out there that could learn all this stuff and pick it up and get things done quickly and efficiently and detailed, and the whole deal. Maybe probably better than me, whatever. But I'm not trying to compete with anyone. I want everyone to do well. And especially if you're somebody that just can't stomach the idea of working a 9-to-5 job. If you're that person, of course. If you are perfectly okay with 9-to-5 jobs, which I think my wife is, she's okay with it for now. At some point I'd like to get her out of there, but she's okay with it. And there's people that thrive in a 9-to-5. Did you hear me rhyme? And I'm grateful for those people, because the world would probably crumble if we didn't have people that could take on responsibilities and try really hard and do a good job and be satisfied with it. But if you're that person that can't stomach the idea of a 9-to-5, then podcast production is a pretty good one to get into. And there's a ton of people that are wanting to start podcasts, and they have money because they're already successful in something else, and they feel like they have some knowledge to share, and it's a cool medium to do that. The editing it can get a little tedious sometimes, especially if things are not working exactly the way you want it to. I had a few little cursing fits today just from things on Adobe Premiere, because of I totally forgot to continue the story. Mike liked somebody else's reel, and it wasn't, you can't make it look like that in the programs that we're using. So I learned and figured out how to do it manually in Adobe Premiere. And so I imitated or emulated, or whatever you want to call it. I imitated that reel pretty well, the style of it. It's not too crazy, the workflow, but it is a lot longer than just having AI do it all for you, But it's okay. Editing is a little tedious sometimes, but it's getting better with all the AI stuff, whatever. All right, so the rest of the video, I think I'm going to talk about getting a routine, right? I think routines are very important, especially if you have ADHD, executive dysfunction issues, like I do, and just getting motivated and feeling overwhelmed sometimes, or not knowing how to prioritize tasks, or if you're editing something and you don't know what should be left in and what should be taken out. These are all things I kind of struggle with. And so I tend to be a little bit slow. So that's why the routine, I think, is so important. We took our dog on a walk, my wife and I, earlier tonight, and I was just kind of rambling. And she's very good at just listening to what I'm saying, because sometimes I just need to talk things out with myself out loud, and I figure things out sometimes like that. But the routine, I think, is going to be important. The episode that I was editing today with a guy named Cavan Valance, Cavan Valance. He was talking about kind of burnout and stuff like that, but he kind of shared his routine, and it's not going to be the same routine every day or every week, It just depends on the workload and whatever. But I think something that would be really important for me is to get up early, do the little things that I need to do. My wife was in a previous position where she traveled a lot more than she does now. And while she was out of town, I picked up a lot of good habits. There's something about not having anyone else to consider in the house. You're just completely alone in the house for a week at a time, 2 or 3 weeks a month. And one of the things that I started doing that really felt good and felt right is I would get up early, take care of the dog, letting her out and feeding her and all that deal, and throw some headphones in and listen to some audiobooks and do something that needs to be done. And one of the things that always needs to be done is dishes. So listening to the audiobook early and getting the dishes done makes things feel nice and sparkly for the day, get you off on the right foot. But I think the idea of me having like a morning where I'm not working, getting all the little things done, taking a shower, whatever, just getting cleaned up and ready for the day. And then just putting in a couple hours, put in a couple good hours of work, uninterrupted, distraction-free, I think is very important for me, just so I know like, oh, you only have to do this for a couple hours. Set a timer every 30 minutes or whatever, depending on how I'm feeling. Set a timer and then just take a little break, get a drink, scroll for a minute, whatever. Watch a little YouTube, watch a little Bob's Burgers, Modern Family. Those are two shows that I just put on and just let them play. I love those shows. But yeah, just give yourself 15, 20, 30 minutes or whatever. And then just make sure you get the full 2 hours of work in, because in 2 hours I can get a lot done if I'm really dialed in. And sometimes I can just work for 2 hours without having to take a break. But allowing myself a little bit of slack, that just in case I feel like, all right, I'm starting to glaze over and I can't focus, then just stop. Just don't try to do work whenever you aren't fully immersed in it, because you're going to make a lot of mistakes. And that's what happened to me tonight when I was working on some of these reels. I had the TV on, there's basketball on, and our buddy came in from out of town who's named Steve. I think I mentioned him before, but he's going to be hanging out with us for a while, and we're going to be working on the house and stuff. That would be a good video, right? Showing working on the house. I don't know, but maybe I can give him a little cameo. He is a great character. He has a great personality. He has an incredible voice. I wish I had his voice. You all would probably be way more interested in my videos. He should be a voice actor of some kind. He's got the chops, But yeah, so make sure that you are fully engaged with what you're doing so you can get in a little flow state, and the quality is going to be better and it's going to be more efficient. You'll get more done quicker, But then after that, stop. This is for me. I don't know about you, but for me, put those 2 hours in and stop. Get out of the house. Whether I go on a walk, take the dog out, or go to the gym, or go get some coffee, or whatever. But just get out of the house for a while and do that deal. Come home, put in another couple hours of work, and honestly, I'm probably done for the day. 4 hours of work, and I probably got it all done, and it's probably all done well, And so then the rest of the day, the afternoon on, because I think probably by noon I could get everything done. And by the afternoon, you're set. You can do whatever you want. I can go ride my motorcycle, or go take some photos, or do a fun edit, something that I'm not getting paid for, just something that I want to put out there. And I have a lot of stuff. So there's going to be some videos that I throw on here. Maybe do a little voiceover. I bought a little microphone, a little cheap one. I've had some nice microphones in the past, but they didn't inspire me to do any more work than the cheap ones. But it's pretty good. Any of y'all that know anything about microphones, especially the USB ones, the cheaper, whatever, for streaming and stuff, that's a big thing now. It's called the Razer Siren Mini, and it is a tiny little thing, and I'm looking at it right now. It's just right there. Whatever, I'll show you. This little guy. Smaller. Back here it looks like it's huge, but this is actually what it looks like. It's a tiny little guy. But yeah, I'm going to be using that for some voiceover stuff, because I have so much footage from all these things, all these events that I've been to, and behind the scenes stuff like music videos and Star Wars Celebration and emo nights and concerts and trips to London and, all kinds of stuff. I've mentioned some of them in previous videos. Yeah, so that'll be fun. But I'm going to end it there. Love you. Bye.